Broken Truth, and today we are with rock star and doctor. Welcome, Ch- Ch- Ladapo. I'm sorry, let me start over. Sorry, I got a little flustered there. We're with Joseph Ladapo, rock star and medical doctor and Surgeon General of Florida.
Yeah,
Dr. Ladapo has been a hero of mine for the last 5 years since you stood on the front steps was it the Supreme Court?
yeah, with Dr. Simone Gold.
And you announced to the world that it's worth investigating hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah,
And to that point, it kind of helped inspire me to make a whole movie about the medication and learn the really incredible history of it. And now it's wonderful to see you went from UCLA as a researcher,
yeah, that's right.
and now you're in
That's
Florida. So what was that experience like transitioning to public service?
it was something. I mean, it was not something I would never have guessed that I would be working in government. It wasn't something I was really ever interested in doing, ever
Hmm.
at all interested in doing. But you know, the moment demanded it, and fortunately, Governor DeSantis felt that I would be a good pick for that role, and I'm grateful that he picked me because you know, a lot of things needed to happen that unfortunately we didn't have a physician public health figure who able to do those things.
Right.
So I'm definitely grateful to have been able to do those things.
What is the biggest challenge that you face right now?
That's an interesting question. Honestly, what is the biggest challenge? I think honestly, it's not professional, actually, it's personal. We've been, but it actually has a professional component too, because I actually wanna do more work in this. So my wife is very sensitive to certain types of mold.
Mm.
And unfortunately, we learned that the hard way. We didn't know that before we moved to Florida, but we're actually not living in our house right now.
Really?
We're unable to live in our house because of a problem with its construction, that when that problem met with Hurricane Milton, uh,
Mm.
was it Helene or Milton? It was Helene
Mhm.
that caused flooding in many parts of Florida. We ended up having a mold problem from an area of the house that was inaccessible, that we didn't know was there,
Okay.
and didn't know there was mold there. And and so honestly, the greatest challenge I'm having right now is, like, we're not in the house. We haven't been in the house for like 2.5 months or something, and we're trying to figure out what to do with the house. And Brianna's had, and one of my boys is also sensitive. They've both had really significant health impacts from it, especially Brianna. And so honestly, that's actually the biggest challenge I'm having right now. The reason it has a professional component is that, you know, obviously I'm praying and doing and working with different people to try to help Brianna get better. And we've been working to get my middle guy, Jack, better, my middle son. But it's also introduced me to, you know, a community of other people who've had health problems related to mold.
Sure.
And for me, the challenge is thinking about how do we how can I take what I'm learning and find some sort of additional scientific support to be able to identify how we can help other Floridians who are dealing with a similar problem, may not even know that that's what's making them ill. So that's the professional component, and the personal component. But I know we're going to get through it.
So Brianna is kind of a hero to homeschool moms all over the
Yeah.
country. How has her journey does she still homeschool now?
Yeah, yeah. She homeschools our boys.
What was her journey to make that decision?
So really interesting. So we've been talking about it for a while. I mean, there were some things about the school system, both the private and the public school system, that, you know, we didn't like. Even in Florida, and I think we're doing a lot better than a lot of other states, most other states. But there were just some aspects of the philosophy. So, for example, the public school that we were most recently at, they were really into technology, like, devices for kids. And I remember, obviously, like, if you're a kindergartner or first grader or second grader, you don't need a freaking device like that. You don't need to be looking at a screen to learn the fundamentals and to build a strong core. And I hated that part of what they were being graded on was required use of these devices to complete certain things. And, I was talking to a teacher and expressing my discontent, and she said, "Well, that's how the world's going." And I was just thinking, no, it doesn't have to go that way. I mean, it goes the way that we choose for the world to go. The same conversation could happen right now for AI. It doesn't have to go that way, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, there's some people that are trying to get other people to believe that there's this inevitability, but that's only if we abandon our first responsibilities as human beings. It would never win unless we do that. So there were a bunch of different things, and we'd been talking about it, and then just one day, Brandon just said, we were like trying to figure out how we do it and balance it, and she was like, "Done." She's like, "I'm just gonna do it," and so she started doing it.
Yeah, I knew we were gonna homeschool when I was a kid. Before I even got married, I was like, "When I have kids, I'm gonna homeschool," because, well, I was half the size of all the other kids, so I was the football and PE class. So I was like, "I'm not gonna put my kids through this," but homeschooling has been wonderful for us.
Yeah.
The children, are they like I spoke with your boys last night.
Mhm.
They're very comfortable talking with the
Yeah,
adults,
yeah.
and they're not, like, locked in their age group, so
Right.
they can communicate with, all kinds of people, and
Yeah.
they're happy and fun.
Oh, yeah, they're
They
very
enjoy
they
themselves.
love homeschooling with mom.
So one of the things about you is, first of all, you bring, like, a very chill energy, but there's an incredible bravery to you, and I'm not kissing up to you. I mean, you have to do what you did on the Supreme Court steps, to speak out publicly like that, that's brave. But there's another level to it. I've seen you do this in multiple interviews. You talk about the spirituality.
Mhm.
And to combine spirituality with science, I could see Dr. Drew when you interviewed with him and you brought it up. He got nervous.
Yeah, he did. I love
You
Dr.
did.
Drew.
I do too.
He did get
But
nervous.
he got anxious
That's interesting that you noticed that.
because with science, it's difficult to quantify spirituality,
Yeah.
but they know the studies show that prayer helps.
Mhm.
And that aspect of it is so brave for you to tackle. How do you feel about that? Like, how do you approach being publicly spiritual and scientific and do it well?
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. Well, honestly, it's just truth, you know, I eh, I can't make all the pieces fit together, the
Sure.
science and the spiritual, but I've I love science. I appreciate science. I did a PhD while I was in medical school, as that's how much I, really enjoy science. And I dig that stuff, and at the same time, I'm a human being, and I had my own spiritual journey and had tremendous, tremendous, tremendous problems,
Mhm.
and fortunately met my wife and and worked with Christopher Maher and got free of, 98% of those problems. So both are true, and both are, both have, tremendous value. Only one speaks to our ability, to our existence as human beings. um, and so it just is truth, it's like, okay, this is true. Here's the tech part, here's the scientific part, here's the medical part, and this is true. Here's us being human beings, and and infinite souls, and an infinitely connected universe, that created by God. It's all true.
Right.
And so it's just all truth. So I'm okay. I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah, I don't know how anyone could have gone through the last 5 years and not felt like there was some sort of divine hand at work.
Oh
But
God.
there are people that are still lost, and
Yeah.
I think when you go forward and you speak your truth and you address all of those issues, both spiritual and science, you are giving people an avenue to go down to learn. and follow their own path. So thank you so much,
Yeah, no, you're
Dr.
welcome. I
Ladapo.
will add one
It's
more
one.
thing.
Oh,
What he just shared,
okay.
that's actually that's the worst part of the mRNA COVID-19 vaccines. And that, they definitely have a lot of safety issues. And
Mm.
those have gotten attention. Dr. Peter McCullough, Dr. Robert Malone, Dr. Harvey Reich, other doctors. We've done some work in the Florida Department of Health. But stepping away from the science, the spiritual side, what I feel intuitively is that one of the worst problem with them is that they interrupt people's connection with divinity. And I don't know why that is. I don't know how that is. I don't understand it, but I do know it's true at an instinctive level. So anyway, just wanted to share that about the
Well,
mRNA
I definitely think that
vaccine.
you are one of the elect. So
Oh,
good job. Keep it up.
all
And if you need me,
right.
I'm here.
All right.
And thank you so much, Dr.
Yeah.
Ladapo.
Thanks. Thanks.
I believe in the Constitution. I believe that one case, the right case, can change the world. If you believe this too, Freedom Council is for you. Pursuing a major case can be overwhelming, but we provide a community of practice so that you have the resources available to support your case. My name is Warner Mendenhall, and we are Freedom Council. Join Freedom Council today. freedomcouncil.org.